Rajni, what's wrong?
Tom, I have a script and I don't know what to do with it. Should I burn it? Feed it to my cat?
You need some writers group therapy.
Hello and welcome to Writers Group Therapy.
I'm Tom.
And I'm Roshni. We're writers helping writers. Ready for your session? The doctors are in. So we have a special guest with us today, one of our actor writer members, I should say, Sarah Eagen. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yay! So tell us briefly about yourself and how you got where you got and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I'm one of those people who grew up all over the country. So I've got the Midwest covered. So I lived in Seattle for a while, ended up down in LA. I actually double majored in college in neuroscience and theater. Always planned on being an actor, but I didn't want to only study theater. I was doing theater for a while in Seattle and realized that I really loved television and film, which were completely new to me. And so I moved down here and had been doing the acting thing and just wasn't really going out on the types of auditions I really wanted to be going on. And so I started writing the kinds of roles I wanted to play.
Wow. So what was the disconnect? Like, what were you getting called out for, and what were you saying, I could play this, though?
Honestly, I was getting called out for a lot of like ditzy college girl type roles. And I really wanted to be going out for like the scientist woman who helps solve the crime and that kind of role. And people just weren't seeing me that way.
Wow. So from when you came to LA, how long were you just doing the acting thing? And then when did you say, okay, I need to be a writer now? And then I guess, I don't know how many years have you been out here? I guess we'll start with that.
I've been out here 4 years now, I guess.
Okay. And so
yeah.
How long were you just an actor and then?
It's funny, when I think about it, I had actually been here less than a year before I decided to write my first short film.
Wow.
I'd been really inspired by an article that Bonnie Gillespie had written. She's a casting director who does a lot of mentoring of actors. And she had this really awesome concept of 100-day challenge and giving yourself like a pretty big goal that you could accomplish in 100 days. And so I decided that I wanted to write and shoot a short film in that time, something that I could like showcase the science part of myself. And that's how I started writing.
Wow. And so what kind of change have you seen since you started going the writing route as well?
Well, I've seen a huge change, honestly. I found that I really enjoy writing, that people really respond to my writing, which is very exciting. And all sorts of different doors have started opening that never would have happened if I had stayed as only an actor. When you're an actor, I feel like you're just very needy. Like you're always waiting for the next job, for the next audition, for the next opportunity. You go to these networking events and parties and you just want someone to give you something. And as a writer, I have all these people coming to me, really liking my work, wanting to be involved in whatever I'm doing. And it's just a huge paradigm shift.
As a writer, coming from acting, you obviously had a lot of experience reading scripts. So is that just, you kind of just picked up screenwriting from that, or did you do any classes or books or training?
Initially, when I wrote and produced my first short film, I did not have any sort of training at all. I do feel that being an actor really helps because when you are so used to speaking the lines out loud, you know when the writing is off and when it's just awkward in your mouth. And so I feel like that helped me write more fleshed out characters that talk the way that people actually talk. Since then, since I've started writing bigger things, I took a writing class that was kind of just like a workshop, but it was very helpful. And I actually listened to a bunch of podcasts. I listened to Script Notes and Children of Tendu and Happier in Hollywood, which are all podcasts by screenwriters. And I purchased some of the screenwriting books, Save the Cat and some of those, and I never really got into them. And so for the most part, I've learned by studying scripts.
Which makes sense because you've been around them for pretty much your entire career. So,
Yes, absolutely.
so speaking of scripts, you got an 8 on the Blacklist. We've actually had, Tom and I have had discussions about the Blacklist and does it help? And we'd never known anybody who actually made it somewhere on the Blacklist. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I put my script up on the Blacklist and purchased an evaluation in order to opt it in for one of the fellowship opportunities that the Blacklist offers on the site. And I got an 8, which was great. I mean, honestly, I wasn't doing it for the evaluation, so I wasn't really expecting anything. But when I got an 8, the Blacklist emailed and offered me free hosting on the site. I had a meeting with a producer within 2 days.
Wow.
Lena Waithe has offered that she and her team will read any script that has gotten an 8 or higher on the Blacklist. So I've been in touch with her assistant, and that would be amazing if she and her team wanted to get involved in one of my scripts. So yeah, I would definitely say that things have come of it. It hasn't sold or anything at this point, but as someone who, I mean, that's my first pilot that I had written, so it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, that's pretty good right out of the gate.
It was a pilot, not a feature.
It's a pilot.
The pilot. So how long did you? Just curious, how long did you spend writing it and polishing it before you went to the Blacklist with it?
I started writing it. I'd say I wrote the first draft in probably a month, and then I was working. Excuse me. I was working with another writer at the time who was giving me notes, and I worked with her for maybe 2 months, making notes and things to the script. And this was over, I don't know, an 8-month period or something. I wasn't working on it consistently. I actually was already writing a second pilot. But yeah, maybe three months of like dedicated work on this script before I put it on the Blacklist.
Wow. And I understand you're also working with a showrunner on a new CW show, which if you can't name the show, that's totally fine. But what are you doing with them and how's it been so far?
So I'm actually working with the showrunner on the personal side of things. So not the production side of things, but the personal side has led me to be able to spend some time in the writer's room, which has been amazing. So I remember the first day I got to step in there, and the walls were just covered with note cards and plot points and character arcs, and it was a lot of fun. And I thought that I had wanted to work in television as a writer, and that was just a huge affirmation that it's absolutely where I want to be.
Wow. Any tips and tricks you've learned from working with them so far?
The writer's room just is such a cool collaborative environment. It's really fun to see writers of at all different places in their careers offering up suggestions, and people leaving their egos at the door, and honestly just the best idea wins. It doesn't matter if it came out of the mouth of the staff writer or the showrunner. And I really like that.
That's really cool. So if people want to find you online, how do they find you? How do they find your scripts?
Well, I'm not sure if my my pilots are hosted on the Blacklist anymore. I'm not sure. My scripts aren't really, besides the Blacklist, they haven't been hosted anywhere. I'm actually taking meetings on a couple of my pilots. So if you want to find me, I'm on Twitter with the handle Sarah J Eagen. And yeah, hopefully I'll have more stuff to share soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time out to chat with us.
Absolutely. Oh, thank you.
And so for all of you, you now have Sarah's Twitter handle. You can tweet her questions directly. You can also tweet at us, WG Therapy. You can also find us online at writersgrouptherapy.com. And if you like what you hear, subscribe and share it with your friends. We'll see you next week.